R-I-D-E.
Pride. Echo.
Echo. Echo.
Steps. Steps.
Here are steps you can use when someone is bothering you.
Hey, is that 3 Sioux Trail teachers I noticed standing there? Well, it's Mrs. Baki, Mrs. Williams, and Mrs. Odegaard. Have you heard about steps?
I know about these. The ones in the hallway, right? There's, stairs.
This is a different kind of steps, ladies.
Never heard of those.
Would you like to hear more?
Sure.
This is when something happens that you don't quite like. Someone's bothering you, someone says something, or you hear something or know that something's going on that shouldn't be happening.
That's happened to me before.
Step over here.
Okay.
Mrs. Baki, would you help show the steps in this problem-solving process?
Sure.
The first step when someone's doing something that you don't like is just to ignore them. The second step is to ask them to stop, but you need to do it in a very calm way. The C stands for cool down. Stop and take a breath. The A stands for assert yourself. Make sure that your voice is calm and confident. The L stands for look them in the eye, and the M stands for mean it. And that's how you'll ask them to stop. If that doesn't work, your next step is to walk away. Finally, if you walk away and it's still not working, you can tell an adult. Hey, I've just arrived at room 201, Mrs. Baki's second grade room. I wonder what's going on in here. Oh, I see 3 teachers, Mrs. Baki, Mrs. Williams, and Mrs. Odegaard again. And they are going to be playing the roles that we've sometimes seen students. And they're going to practice those steps we just learned. Let's see what's going on here. Mrs. Baki has turned her body, step 1 of our important steps process, to ignore. And it was successful. Mrs. Williams has gone back to reading her book. Here's another door. Wonder if I can find any students who know the steps process. Well, look, here's Helena and Emily, and they're working on an assignment.
Helena, why are you using a pen? Markers are way more colorful than pens.
Helena decides to ignore Emily. Good job, Helena. Let's see if that works.
Helena, I was talking to M+. Why does that cupcake have a heart on its head and ears? It's not like cupcakes can hear.
Emily, I do not like what you're saying about my drawing. Please stop.
It's another day and I'm back at room 201. Let's check in with Mrs. Baki, Mrs. Williams, and Mrs. Odegaard and see if they're remembering how to use their steps. Back in the reading nook. There's step 1. Mrs. Baki is ignoring Mrs. Williams. Ignoring isn't working this time.
I need you to stop. I'm trying to do my work.
Mrs. Baki used that calm strategy, took a breath, looked her in the eye, asserted herself, and she meant it. Let's see if that works. Step 3, Mrs. Baki is walking away. Now she's able to do her work, and Mrs. Williams and Mrs. Odegaard are able to do theirs as well. If this doesn't work, it's time to tell an adult.
It's January and it's cold outside, but that doesn't mean we forget about Pride. All this week at Sioux Trail, we're celebrating Pride Echo. So we're going to go ahead and follow those steps each and every time we're talking with somebody that we want to stop doing something. So we're going to ignore, we're going to ask to stop in a calm, calm way, and we're going to walk away. If those steps don't work, then we go and we tell an adult. All right, you Panthers, let me see pride all throughout Sioux Trail.
R I